Hello, and welcome to ReallyBigHat. My name is Jared, and this is D&D Builds, the show where we, like the title says, build D&D characters. Today we're looking at the self-proclaimed master of skulking in the shadows, the Gloom Stalker Ranger. Your race is completely up to you for this build, but I would suggest going thematic and picking something like a drow or a duergar, a denizen of the darkness. And since we are playing a ranger with this build, I would like to mention that we would really like to use the optional class features instead of the base ranger features. Nothing against Player's Handbook Rangers per se, but the optional class features give them a better, more well-rounded kit in my opinion. For our ability scores, I would prefer something like this if we're going with a point buy. Make Dexterity your primary stat, and then Constitution and Wisdom your secondary stats. And then pick between Strength, Intelligence, and Charisma as your tertiary stat. It's really up to you. So, starting off as a Ranger, we actually get quite a few features before we make it to being a Gloom Stalker. Starting out with Deft Explorer, the first tier of which is the Canny feature, allowing us to get proficiency doubled in one skill, basically expertise, and we also get 2 additional languages. We also get Favored Foe, which replaces Favored Enemy. When we hit a creature with an attack roll, we can mark that target for 1 minute or until we lose our concentration, like we're concentrating on a spell, so we can't also concentrate on a spell when we do this. But when we mark it, and on additional attacks against it, we can increase the damage we deal to it by 1d4. And that damage does go up as we get to higher levels in the class. Moving on to second level, we get a fighting style selection, and I would go with archery here. There is an argument to be made to be a melee ranger and go with like dual wielding or dueling, but I would say archery is the premium choice here, personally. And at second level, we also get access to the best feature in the game across all classes, spellcasting. We can pick up stuff like Absorb Elements, Hunter's Mark or Zephyr Strike, Fog Cloud, Entangle. There really are some great ranger spells to choose from here. Moving right along to third level, we finally get our actual Gloom Stalker features, those being Umbral Sight and Dread Ambusher. With Umbral Sight, we gain Dark Vision out to a range of 60 feet, but if we already have Dark Vision from our race, its range increases by 30. And we are also adept at evading creatures that rely on dark vision. While we are in darkness, we are invisible to any creature that relies on dark vision to see us in that darkness. This is very cool, and makes us an incredible threat in places like the Underdark, or anywhere that's like in a cave, or at night. It's a lot of fun. And Dread Ambusher gives us a bonus to our initiative rolls equal to our Wisdom modifier, and at the start of our first turn of each combat, we get extra 10 feet to our walking speed, and when we take the attack action, we can make 1 additional weapon attack as part of that action. So once we get to extra attack, that's 3 attacks. And if that attack hits, the target takes an extra 1d8 damage of the weapon's damage type. This lets us go Nova on our first turn pretty hard. Moving right along to level 4, we get an ASI, and you might be tempted to raise your dex here, but I would actually say probably take Sharpshooter. Because the thing is here, we have so many ways to mitigate that -5 penalty so that we're getting the maximum benefit out of this feat. We have the archery fighting style giving us a +2 to range attack rolls. We have the Zephyr Strike spell giving us advantage on a weapon attack roll. And we get to do some extra damage with it and increase our move speed. So there's a lot of ways to mitigate that -5 penalty to really get the most out of this feat. Anytime you can get advantage with a class, and you have the option to take Sharpshooter or Great Weapon Master to use that advantage, you really want to take advantage of that advantage. Advantage. There, I said it again. At level 5, we get extra attack. Great feature, as always. Lets us attack twice instead of once when we take the attack action. And that'll be 3 times on our first attack action of the turn as a Gloom Stalker, so pretty cool. We're also going to be getting access to second level spells, like Pass Without Trace. Or another great spell, Pass Without Trace. Or Spike Growth. Or Pass Without Trace. But seriously, though, do get Pass Without Trace. It's one of my favorite spells in the game, one of the best stealth spells in the game, just for, like, especially for, like, exploration and travel. But, you know, anytime you need a boost to your stealth, which happens quite a lot in most campaigns, Pass Without Trace, right there, baby. And you can pair it with stuff like, you know, invisibility or greater invisibility if you have other spellcasters in your party. Stuff like Silence also helps it. I mean, there's a lot of great combos. It's a great spell. At this point, I think it's about time we start multi-classing. This is a build that pairs very well with a lot of other classes. So I'm actually thinking we're going to multi-class a few times here. And the first time, we're going into Twilight Domain Cleric. Now, there is an argument to be made here to go into Life Domain for some shenanigans with Goodberry and to make yourself into an amazing healer with that spell and the Life Domain feature that adds healing power to spells. But I think the Twilight Domain is a lot more thematic for this character, and it also gives us some pretty synergistic features. First up is Eyes of Night, that gives us 300 feet of dark vision. This does stack with Umbral Sight in order to give us 330 feet of dark vision, which is pretty cool. And we can magically share the dark vision of the feature with willing creatures we can see within 10 feet of us, up to a number of creatures equal to our Wisdom modifier, and that lasts for 1 hour. We also get Vigilant Blessing, which gives us advantage on initiative rolls as an action, and that lasts until we use the roll, so we can just pop that on ourselves whenever we want, and then whenever we get into combat, we're going to have advantage on that initiative. And that stacks with Dread Ambusher, which gives us a bonus to our initiative rolls equal to our Wisdom modifier. So we've got a bonus and advantage, so we've got very good initiative here. And that's what I'm talking about with the synergies here. These Twilight Domain Cleric features pair almost one-to-one with our Gloom Stalker Ranger features. Like, each one of them just marries so well with what we already have that it just expands upon what we're already doing in significant ways. It's a very thematic choice to go for a Gloom Stalker / Twilight Cleric too, so it works on multiple levels. We are also going to get access to first level Cleric spells here. We're going to get cantrips, so we can pick up Guidance, we can pick up classics like Bless, and being a Twilight Domain Cleric gives us Fairy Fire, which isn't bad either. And then I want to keep the multi-class train a-rollin' and take 3 levels of Fighter to get to Battlemaster. Along the way, we're going to get some great features. We're going to get Second Wind, allowing us to recover some HP as a bonus action. We're going to get another fighting style, and I would recommend taking Defense to bump up our armor class a little bit. We're also going to get Action Surge, one of the best features in the game, allowing us to take an additional action on our turn once per short rest. That allows us to Nova even harder with our Dread Ambusher, so very cool. As a Battlemaster, we also get some maneuvers. You can take what you want here, but I do want to call out 2 in particular that I think work really well with this build. The first is Ambush, which allows us to add a superiority die to a stealth check or an initiative roll, so we can really ensure that we're going first in combat between our advantage on initiative, our bonus with our Wisdom on initiative, and now our D8 on initiative, if we want to add that as well. And then Menacing Attack. We can frighten a target, which is a really debilitating condition if you can get it to land. And it is at this point in the build that we have a little bit of a decision to make. We kind of want to keep multi-classing. I mean, we definitely want to keep multi-classing, but we also kind of want to take another level of fighter here and pick up an ability score improvement and bump up our dexterity a little, because we haven't been hitting that many ability score improvements with this build, and so we're starting to get a little hungry for them. I'm going to leave this at your own discretion. At this point in the build, you've played this character enough that you've gotten a really good feel for them. If you feel like you need that little bit of extra dexterity, definitely take it here. If you feel like all of your other features are giving you more than enough, chance to hit and bonuses to your dexterity checks like stealth, then just go ahead and start multi-classing here. And we will be multi-classing into Rogue, specifically an Assassin Rogue, because we are going to be taking 3 levels of Rogue here. Along the way on those 3 levels of Rogue, we are going to be picking up a bonus proficiency, expertise in 2 skills, and cunning action, allowing us to dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action. And as an assassin rogue, we're going to get their signature ability, Assassinate. We have advantage on any creature that hasn't moved in initiative yet, and with our massive bonus to initiative at this point, I think you can see the synergy there. And also, any creature we hit that is surprised, we automatically crit. So with stuff like Pass Without Trace, that's also there for us as well. Now, is there anything else we get as a rogue? Something else we get as a... Ah! Oh, it snuck up on me. But yeah, we also get sneak attack, of course. That's some extra damage for us. It's 2d6 at this level. And at this point, we are done multiclassing. So the build is pretty much in your hands. You can continue down, taking more rogue levels, getting all the way up to 7 to get evasion and 46 sneak attack damage. You can, if you didn't already, go back to fighter, pick up level 4 for an ability score improvement. You could go back to Ranger, pick up some levels there, and get the rest of your Ranger features. Get a little bit more spell casting, a little bit more HP. So yeah, that's the build. And so here's a sample of what your character sheet might look at level 20. We've got 156 hit points, that's a little on the low end. Our armor class is 18 with studded leather and maximum dexterity. That's not bad at all. And by level 20, we've probably found some magical accoutrements, either a ring of protection or some magic armor or, anything in that vein that probably could get that number a little bit higher. We also have expertise in 4 skills if we took Rogue all the way to 7. We have an amazing passive perception if we took expertise in that. I mean, look at that. My passive perception is 25. That's pretty cool. We also have a 4d6 sneak attack damage. We have 4d8 superiority dies. We've got advantage on initiative that we can give ourselves. We've got a bonus to our initiative equal to our wisdom, so our base initiative is +8 right now. We can also add on to that with ambush from the Battlemaster maneuvers to give us another d8 on that. And then we can use that, our ace initiative modifier there to get first place in initiative more often than not, and then use Assassinate to get advantage on everything. And that lets us use Sharpshooter, willy-nilly, and get extra damage that way as well. We're doing extra damage on our first attack and getting an extra first attack from our Gloom Stalker features. We've got a lot of stuff going on with this character. It's very cool. So I really hope you enjoy playing them, and I will see you next time. Later.